Ha?
Hello po, ma'am. Wala po atang audio po. Hindi naririnig. Or sa akin lang.
Sa akin din po, ma'am, wala pong naririnig. Kala ko po internet.
Hello, how about now?
Okay na
Okay,
po.
yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I just figured because we used this earlier for the shooting of one AVP for accreditation, and I actually changed it to smartphone because we used smartphone earlier, and now it switched to camera. So earlier, yeah, I was saying again, good evening, teachers. I think I need to, you know, retell everything I said earlier. Again, good evening. And again, I apologize for asking you to meet this Friday. I hope that's okay because last Tuesday, you're all aware, we had our holiday, right? Okay. I'm just surprised because, okay, yeah, until now, actually. I understand, again, I understand, again, and I apologize. Understand that you have decided, right, as a class to meet only every Tuesday for the same class. However, yeah, for us not to waste time, right, and to continue even the previous sync class discussion, I decided to meet tonight, and this is already considered the replacement of our Tuesday class. Okay, because again we had holiday, and yeah, until now I actually did not receive. I'm actually surprised because apart from you deciding on a Tuesday class, right, meeting on a Tuesday class, I was actually surprised no one reacted. I don't know why. Can you give me? I don't want to assume or jump to conclusion, right, or draw inference. I did not receive any reaction, like literally no emoji reaction, right, for the Zoom link video. So again, I would like to hear you, right? So you may say something about it. I thought it's because of the election. And then as I went back, maybe it's because of the Tuesday. So please clear my mind. I don't want to assume anything here. Anyone who'd like to speak for the class, teacher Laika?
Ma'am, ako po personally, akala ko po kasi gagamitin niyo po yung time niyo sa Friday. Since may Friday schedule naman po tayo, kahit Tuesday po yung schedule natin. Tapos ayun po, nag-announce din po na walang pasok ng Monday. So baka hindi niyo rin po gagamitin yung Tuesday. Kaya ngayon po kayo nag-meet.
Yeah, okay. So, no, maybe because majority actually are thinking, right, in relation to the request, actually it's a letter, right, sent by the student regent of PUP, right? Even other faculty members thought that why, or they actually wonder why they didn't extend it until, right, until 10th. Am I right? It's only 7 to 9, right? Because that's actually the height of the election, if that's our case, to really be aware and to monitor, right? Too busy to react po. Thank you, teacher Katie. Yeah, it's fine. I understand. Because I was just wondering, maybe you are doing house to house campaign and all. And you know me, right? You can raise anything. You can even excuse the class for that. So I understand that. So maybe, right? Well, not maybe, of course. Since we're going to meet tonight, okay, we're going to have next in class as your async week. Will that be fine? Yeah. Please, from time to time, I want to be corrected, right? Again, I have too much on my plate right now. Accreditation is very near, and we're so busy in the office, and at the same time, yeah, class is left and right. So just once in a while, if I announce something, right, please call my attention. Please call my attention, because one scenario happened to me maybe I think last week, right? I actually asked for a poll, just like what no, it's a different poll. In your case, do you want to use the today's sync class for async, right, activity? And one question I asked it, right? I asked through a poll in that one particular GC was, uh, can we meet? Like that's actually a makeup class because we're not able to meet as well, like really because of a holiday, because of Holy Week, I believe. And I actually the majority, no majority, all said no. And in my mind, I don't know what's happening to me during those days. All I thought, the no was actually a yes. So I even said, yay, and thank you. And maybe they were wondering, what, you're happy that we will not meet? And right after that, like few minutes after I said, yay, thank you, I sent a Zoom link, a Zoom meeting link. And one mentioned me in the GC and told me, ma'am, I think there's a misunderstanding that happened. No, she told me first that she sent me PM and then I read it, and that's the content of the message. And only that moment that I realized, oh my goodness, I thought that's a yes. It's always a yes for me. So yeah, we have that. I'm just a human being. I also have my sabaw moments, right? My sabaw days. So please don't be shy to call my attention. Or right now, the height of election, many students are suffering from, what do you call that? Election anxiety, as they call it. So, or maybe again, you're doing house campaign. It's fine to raise that. Can you give me heart react? Right, that you promised to do that to call my attention, right, in terms of, okay, thank you, in terms of our classes and other concerns. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start with the system check. Please give me like react if you can hear me clearly. Is my audio clear? Is it placed properly here? Thank you also for calling my attention earlier about the audio glitch. Disconnection of audio. Heart react if you can see the screen I'm sharing right now. Let me check again. Okay, I'm sharing the right screen. I am not seeing anyone. I am sure it's not my connection. Please turn on your videos, and so I can see you. I can talk continuously with people. With real, thank you, Teacher Light. I appreciate that. What else? Teacher Kazaya, still loading. Okay. Now let's pray now. May I ask someone to lead a prayer, and please include in your prayer that we'll have honest and clean elections on the 9th. We all pray for that. We all pray for justice, right, to be served during the election. So anyone who'd like to volunteer, please click raise a hand. If you'd like to volunteer praying for our nation, that's also the reason I played Awit ng Bayan and Tribes. So I hope we're all in this together, right, for our nation as one country. It's okay, Teacher Nikki. Okay. Who would like to pray? Teacher Ikay. Teacher Ikay, are you there? You may, yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
Let's feel the presence of our God, the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Let's pray, Father, facing thank you for this day po, Lord, na binigyan niyo po kami ng panibagong buhay, Lord, na ginusin niyo po kami kanina umaga, hindi lang po kami, pati po yung family po namin, Lord, naway i-guide niyo po kami sa mga lakad po namin, o sa mga gagawin po namin, Lord God, naway marami po kami matutunan sa gabing ito, Lord God. Pinagpipray ko din po ang bawat isa po dito na ma-bless po and guide niyo po sila, Lord. Kung mayroon naman po silang sakit, Lord, that i-heal niyo po sila, Lord. And yung mga wala pong motivation sa mga oras na Lord, na pinagpipray ko din po na magkaroon po ng motivation, Lord. Pinagpipray na rin po namin, Lord God, na sinarating po ng election, Lord God. Sana po maging maayos po ang lahat, Lord. Maging malinis po yung kalabasan ng resulta po ng election, Lord God. Na Tinisin niyo po, i-clear niyo po yung isip at puso ng bawat isa po para po iboto po yung karapat-dapat po, Lord God. Kayo na po bahala sa lahat, Lord. Pinagpipray ko na po in Jesus' name. We pray. Amen po.
Amen. Amen. In Jesus' name. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, indeed, we pray, right? And we decree that the Lord will actually choose or let that righteous one be elected, right? Thank you. We pray and declare also for wisdom, right? As we shade the right circles there, right? We pray for our nation, for our locality as well, because we are going to vote also for our local officials. Thank you for that wonderful prayer, Teacher Ikay. Okay, let's have our screenshot. May I ask who's assigned for that? The taking of screenshot. Anyone? Yeah, please turn on your videos or turn on your cameras or start your videos. See, Teacher Team, you don't need a virtual background. Indeed, the same color. Were you the one who did that? Thank you for choosing that color as our virtual background. Very neat, right? Mhm. Okay. How about the others? I need to call you Teacher Rex, Teacher Jess, Teacher Ferline, Mika, Hannah, Jervy, Juliana. Okay, sorry. I'm actually calling the ones I'm seeing. Are you at work, Teacher Jervy? You're in
Yes po.
uniform. Oh, okay. Is it your break time? I told you if you have work, right, you shouldn't be attending the class. Can you?
Makaka-attend po.
Oh, really? Okay. Thank you. Teacher Celine, hello. Teacher Mika, Ferline, Jess. Okay. Who's assigned for the screenshot? No one. Okay. I believe my internet connection uh, can do that. So let's smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Smile. I'll wait for a while. Smile. Okay, thank you so much, my dear campings. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. No, don't turn off your cameras. Okay, I'm gonna send this again to RGC so I will not forget. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you may have your camera on. Okay, let's have our human check. Please type in the chat one word or a phrase. Right, answer to the question, how are you? How are you tonight? Do you also have that anxiety? The kind of anxiety I mentioned earlier, election anxiety. Are you really worried about what will happen during, right? Or even pre, during, and post elections? Right? Indeed, it's really a revolutionary season, right, of election. It's a different, feeling. Yeah, okay, teacher, like I said, anxious about the election. Very anxious po because of the election. Blessed and happy, pero kinakabahan po sa election. This is the only time I believe that the youth, right, really become part of the campaigning, right? I mean, you really got involved and engaged, right, in voicing out the truth, in, helping others discover the truth as well. Drained po, ma'am, because of everyday house to house. So I hope that you will find sense of accomplishment there, right? For every, you already know what I'm about to say. I don't think I need to put it into words, but I hope that will give you sense of right fulfillment as you're doing that for the nation, not only for yourself, and definitely not for the sake of being with the group of volunteers, right? So I appreciate you doing that. Yes po, kinakabahan po, and nag-overthink po. Right? Again, your vote is very important, so please vote wisely. Teachers, your vote counts literally, right? If we can still, do something to encourage our family members. I myself, I am in that, dilemma. Okay, kinakabahan and nag-overthink. So I pray, decree, and declare comfort and peace for everyone. May we be at peace even during our shading of our ballots, right? So, and please be very careful. There's only one ballot for every voter, right? Let's not commit the mistake, right, of others of voting or two presidents. You know whom I'm talking about. But Teacher Laika. If you watch the film, right, it's there. It's documented. So be wise, be smart, teachers. Okay, you are the hope of this generation. And you know what? This is one good testimony. And if, Lord willing, really, that He will, right, elect the one He designed to elect. Okay, I hope that person will be full of integrity, right, and will really be called to serve the nation and the people. Okay, thank you for sharing again. Be at peace. It's like, just the moment I took the let, I was just talking to God to bless my paper. So the same thing, right? Let's talk to God while we're shading the ballots. It's really for the nation and, of course, for our future generation. Okay, thank you so much. Let's proceed. Let's have a recall of what we had discussed last in class. Anyone? Again, have I told you, sorry, before I continue asking, have I told you about the recitation 6? Not yet, right? I just told you that recitation will be graded. So may I ask, who's the one who created the attendance sheet? You click raise
Si
hand.
Miss Yap po ata.
Teacher Inger. But Teacher Inger is not feeling well. Maybe Teacher Laika, please take note of this as the president, right? Okay. So, yeah, sorry, teacher. Yeah, Teacher Inger is sick tonight. So, Teacher Laika, is it okay? You may also echo this to Teacher Inger because this is an additional task. So, we already have the attendance sheet, right? So, I will be asking Teacher Inger, Teacher Laika, please echo this, to add additional column next to the attendance column, right? Again, only editable by Teacher Inger and me, right? And the task with regard to the recitation 6, Teacher Inger will create a new Google Sheet only for recitation, editable by everyone. Why? Because for every recitation that you make or you contribute to the discussion, that would be counted as one recitation stake. So every one of you, right, you are accountable to your recitation 6. Again, going back to our class orientation, right, honesty, still the best policy, right? I demand honesty in the class. So it's up to you, right? You have your notes there during discussion, during sync class. Please take note of your recitation 6 for every recitation. Again, there are no wrong answers, only most appropriate ones, right? As long as you talk relevant to the discussion, that's already counted as one stick. Is that clear? Can you give me a thumbs up? And after that, right, for the consolidated, of course, you will have a total, right, of recitation 6. So you will input your recitation 6 to the editable by everyone Google Sheet, right? And the task of Teacher Inger is to get the consolidated per sync class recitation 6 and add it to the attendance sheet. Is that clear? So the additional Google Sheet editable by everyone is the only file editable by the class. Is my instruction clear, Teacher Laika? Can you give me heart react or not? Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so starting now, since we're going to have a recall, any raised hand, right, of what we've discussed so far? Yes, Teacher Eileen, go.
For our last discussion, we tackled about visual art literacy. We discussed about the elements of art and principles of design po.
Okay, so that's merely, you're correct, right? Elements of design, elements of art, principles of design, right? And we even had activity, that's correct. Well, that's merely an enumeration. How about something that strikes you, something that you can carry on, right, in the future when you teach the young kids, Teacher? Whom did I call? Teacher Eileen. Yeah.
Yung pinaka tumatak po sa akin last discussion is nung tinanong niyo po kami about yung sa quotation po ma'am, that art enables us to find ourselves. I think I will apply it po sa future classroom ko po by saying that they can express themselves by through art. So, yun po, ma'am.
Yeah, that's good, right? That is one way of encouraging them to do the task that you want them to do, right? Encourage them also and, inspire them that there's really an artist in them. Later, we were going to have the echoing of your output, and I will even share my, initial impressions, the literal words that I said upon seeing your output. So I hope you do the same in the future. Yes, teacher Hannah?
Yung na-discuss po natin last time, narinig po ba ako sa
Yes, very clear.
is yung mga textures and naaalala ko po yung sa art attack po. Yung art attack. And then, yung katulad po na sinabi nung before sa akin, yung mga quotes po na nabanggit and how do you feel about art in personally and subjectively. And po.
Okay, that's right. Okay, asking of questions. That's very true. And the activity that we did. Thank you, Teacher Hannah. Allow me to share Teacher Jervy's response here. We tackled about the elements of art through utilizing leaves. And what's the approach I use there? Instead of, I can simply enumerate, right, the elements of art. But what I did is a different approach. So what do you call that approach that we utilize or employed? Anyone? I told you to, right, to at least grab that, right? In the future that you teach theories, you start with practice. You start by exam. So we did inductive approach instead of deductive one. I didn't say, okay, the first element is this, right? And then, right, the first element of art is this, and then I go to the activity. No, it's the other way around that we did. Thank you. Another from Teacher KJ, elements of art and principles of design. Teacher Jervy shared here. Yung tumatak po is yung kaya pala kaya pala ma-discuss ang elements of arts in simplest way. That's true. Tulad po ng activity na pinagawa niyo po. That is right. And even materials are readily available, right, in the environment or near the students. Thank you. Okay, do we have more? Something that strikes you, any takeaway from previous discussion? No more? Okay, Teacher NG.
Ano po, sa future, kapag naging future educator na po ako ng mga bata, in every art po na gagawin nila, dapat po ma-appreciate ko yung mga gawa nila. Since yun po yung magpapaboost sa kanila na gumawa pa ng or ipagpatuloy pa yung skill na meron po sila.
Yeah, that's really true. Thank you. That's already part of the hidden curriculum values, right? Integration, definitely art appreciation of the outputs of your students. I believe you remember, right, the experience I shared before, right? Don't do that. Don't do the thing that my MAPE teacher told me, right, about my artwork that's ugly, but it's really not. So more than that, it should be the other way around. It should be your appreciation, right, of your students' work, because definitely they will do better, right, in the next activity. Thank you for that. Okay, let's have a continuation, right, of the, pending slides that we're not able to discuss. So we are now on principles of design. Right, and in this case, we are done with actually at least first types of rhythm. This time it's regular rhythm. It talks about regular arrangement of parallel lines. As you can see here, we have parallel lines here in the ocean painting, right? Oh, it also has identical motives and equal amounts of space between, as you can see. So it's easy to identify, right? Not only the distance, right, but how they are designed in a particular visual art. It also has a steady beat, and it can be boring, right, if it's overdone. Regular rhythm also describes an artwork that contains repeating elements, the same thing as this. These are repeating elements, as you notice, right, with a specified order of or arrangement that can be measured. Some regular rhythm examples include evenly spaced windows or tiles, maybe while you are in the toilet or just by sitting in the living room, right? You notice normally, right, we are into details like that when we're just looking at something, right? We notice the regular rhythm of our tiles, of your ceiling, right, of your windows. So alternating rhythm, we're done with that. Flowing rhythm and progressive rhythm. This one is an example of showing, right, regular rhythm. Rhythm is also created by movement implied through the repetition of the elements of art, right, in a non-uniform but organized way. It is also related to rhythm in music. Unlike pattern, which demands consistency, rhythm relies on variety. In this case, all of these are faces with heads, necks, and eyes, and nose, and mouths at least, or lips, and ears, and hair, right? But there is a variety that you can see, and this is an example of, right, a compilation of different faces, human faces that your kids or young learners will do in the future, right? So how would you appreciate this art? Right? How would you give comments? May that be objective or subjective comment if this is an artwork that will be passed, right? But or will be turned in by your student in the future. Anyone? You may pick one picture and then give, right, your feedback as a teacher, as an early childhood teacher. Give me a raised hand. While you are gathering your thoughts, allow me to share feedback from earlier question from Teacher Juliana. My takeaway po last sync is nakakamiss po maging bata. Na-appreciate ko po yung paggawa ng activity kasi ngayon po na college na kami, mahirapan na po sa mga activity assignments. Kaya habang bata pa, i-enjoy natin lahat ng time kasi minsan lang maging bata. That's really true. That's a cliche, right? But that's really true. We will only be young once, right? We will only be single once. We will only be all of your seasons, of course, because we're growing old, right? We're maturing, right? So, and even your artwork is leveling up, right? Sorry, I can't really help myself but be excited, right, to have that part of echoing. But let's finish this. Okay, anyone would like to share? How about this one? This is so interesting, right? This gives me a lot of emotions. We would like to give a feedback. If your kid will show you, teacher, show us, please see my artwork. I want to show you my artwork. Can you give feedback to this one? Right? At first, of course, you might ask, or who is that, right? Or you may ask the backstory of the choice of colors, right? Of the choice of emotion. Right? But how about your feedback as a teacher? Teacher Mariah?
Good evening po, ma'am.
Good evening.
Siguro po para sa akin po, i-compliment ko po syempre po muna yung gawa niya. And yung parang talagang napansin ko sa artwork niya is yung direction po ng eyes niya. Yung parang nakatingin po sa
side.
po. Opo, ang galing lang po. At saka
right?
po yung sa background din, yung sa background din po, parang may lines din po siya na ginamit. Hindi lang po plain na. Yun po.
Yeah, that's correct. Right? It's very, just like what teacher KJ, right? It's very realistic, right? You're right. It's really hard to convey emotions through, just shading circles, very small circles, right? And in that sense, even with the smile, it really gives, right? It really gives a distinct emotion. It can be annoyed or thinking or wondering, questioning about someone's beside him, right? Or not believing, there's doubt here, right? Wedding at something like that kind of emotion. Teacher Laika, please share.
Ma'am, yung dun po sa kahiliran yung picture na yung
Which one
pangatlo.
here? Here,
Yung,
this one? Okay.
Pangatlo po, yung marami pong kulay.
Mm-hmm.
Parang kapag naiisip ko po yung mga mga artwork ng mga bata na parang pinagsunod-sunod lang po yung pagkulay nila para po siguro parang sobrang excited nila sa gusto nilang ikulay na hindi na nila maisip kung ano yung gusto nilang unahin. Siguro po
Mhm.
gano'n. Kasi masyado silang fascinated dun sa colors kaya lahat lang
Correct.
po ilalagay nila instead na
Yeah,
isulat.
correct. Yeah, and you can even see, right? There is no distinct direction, right, of the color. Right? Unlike this one, right? He knows that for the skin he's going to use this color, brown, right? But here there's blue, there's right? Or it can be just, coloring first and then drawing later on. Thank you, teacher Laika. But how would you complement this work?
Ano po, pasabihin ko po dun sa bata na gusto ko yung imagination niya, yung pag-put niya ng imagination niya into his or her work through color po. Since maganda po yung idea niya na ilagay lahat ng gusto niyang kulay po dun sa artwork. And maganda
Yeah.
naman po yung kinalabas.
Correct, right? There's even emotion. I don't know, in my case, very happy, but in terms of the choice, right? The choosing of gray color, it shows that masculinity, at least for me, that's how I see it. Thank you, teacher Laika. That's correct. Another from teacher Cheska. Right? Siguro po one thing na pwede mai-comment po sa gawa nila aside sa colorful po sila is yung na-identify po nila kung ano-ano po ang parts ng face. It's really true, right? You're going to go back to subject matter, right? To the objectives of the activity. And of course, that's really to create a face with a neck or with complete parts of the face and head. Right? That's true. That's correct. Yes, teacher Fe.
Ako po, ma'am.
Yes.
Yung sa baba po nung brown, yung naka-smiley face po. Siguro nakikita ko po na artwork niya as a happy person po. Nire-reflect niya po yung sarili niya dun sa artwork. And then yung compliment ko naman po dun sa artwork po. Parang yung ang ganda po kasi nire-reflect niya yung artwork niya sa kanya and then yung background po ang colorful po. Ayun po.
Yeah, that's true, right? Colorful background and even, the skin tones, right? It varies, so it accepts all, right? Nationalities and race. Thank you. Next, teacher Ika, you'd like to add?
Yung pinaka-napansin ko po ma'am is yung sa last row po, yung pangalawa po.
This one?
Opo. Kasi po parang ang ganda po ng drawing ng bata sa age po niya. Kasi nung bata po ako, yung buhok ko parang corona lang po yung
Yeah.
yung buhok ko. Para po sa kanya po talagang, yun po, yung mata po niya talagang parang mata talaga po. So parang compliment ko po sa kanya is parang magaling po siya mag-drawing then para po may po talaga siya sa arts po.
A gift, right? Thank you, teacher Ika. That's correct, right? Imagine the hair strands, the eyes, the parts of the eyes with eyebrows and even with teeth. Imagine how many teeth, right? This girl has. Look at that. This is more than the normal number of teeth with ponytail. Look at that. Right? It even has ponytail. So you're right. That's good discernment. You may even really give that to your future learner. By the way, teacher Laika, since teacher Inger is not around, we have present classmates from our YouTube live. We have teacher Nadaline there, Shena, Aliyah, Joy, Amanda, and I don't know who's Bell Pepper is, or who Bell Pepper is. Please type in the chat there who you are so we can acknowledge your attendance. Okay, as we continue, right, another principle of design is proportion, the measurement of the size and quantity of elements within a composition. So as an example, we can see here, right, there is no proportion, but no, it's a term, right? It's the actual term used. It doesn't mean there should be, right? It's really a matter of achieving that. So let's examine this one. How do you see this, right? The name here of the art is the head. As you can see here, a big head. And I'm sorry for those who have fear of heights, but Hope you can see, right, how high or how tall the building is here. Anyone? Let's try to examine. How are you going to examine the scale and the proportion used in this visual arts? It's already a DG art. Any brave heart? Any analysis of this? Do you even see that? Do you even see that it's the height, right, is realistic? Anyone? Okay, teacher Tin, go.
Ma'am, ano po, yung napansin ko po dun sa image po is kung alin po yung hindi po proportional is yun po yung mas napapansin. Unlike po dun sa mata, yung sa face po ng monster, di ba proportional po siya with each other. Pero yung head po ng lalaki, hindi po siya proportional. So ang mas napapansin po natin is yung head po.
Yeah, that's true. That's also one purpose, right, of this principle, to show the audience, right, or the spectator where to look at or where to focus at. And as you notice here, scale and proportion are also structural features related to height. That's why I chose this as an example. Scale is the size of an object in comparison to other objects in a pattern or an artwork here. So proportion also refers to the proportion of the pieces of the object in contrast to the other parts of the same object, just like how you compare the monster with the man with the big head. So that's correct. Right? Throughout the years, even artists have used size and proportion to represent or detract, right, from the ideal, because this is not really a realistic thing to see. But even though there are really some cases where, but rare cases, right, but even realistic, but not with the monster present. We don't see, right, actual monster around us. Proportion is also a design factor that refers to the relative size of the components that make up the product. Again, for instance, the human body is the basis by which people measure proportions, right? Normally, I don't know if you have observed that, you have examined that in your body, right? Some of you will say, my head is bigger than my upper body, right? Or my legs are longer than my upper body. So some of you might notice that when you examine bodies of humans or maybe your own, right? For example, here the eye should be narrower than the face, right? Here with the monster, right? And the shoulders of a man should be larger than his hips. If you see a disproportionate object, right? It's going to grab your eye, like this one, as you mentioned, right? You saw the big head rather than the actual normal body, right? Or at least ideal body of the man. It's going to grab your eye. For instance, cartoons of big-headed characters, right? For a cartoonist, if you were maybe before, right? You were a cartoonist in your school newspaper, right? You already know the caricature, how you draw it, right? For instance, also that will grab your eye. And an apparent exaggeration could also tickle your funny bone by this, the head, right? By Eric Fogel. It's also a clear example of this one. Who raised her hand? Sorry, I missed that. Yes, Teacher Rocky.
Ako po, ma'am. Opinion ko lang po, ma'am, sa poster po. Parang hindi totally po na hindi siya proportion, pero parang ginamit po doon, pinalaki po yung head para parang ma-maximize po siguro yung space, kasi kung para po sa akin, kung maliit po yun tas proportion po yung ulo niya, parang ang boring po tignan, tapos nakikita lang po mga windows. And yun po parang in-emphasize po siguro yung font po na nakalagay na the head po siguro. Kaya nilakayan din po yung ulo niya.
Yeah, that's true, right? It's even the textual explanation given here with the head. You already see the big head, but it's even described here. Okay, thank you, Teacher Rocky. That's right. We have more eyes that have examined this one. No more? Okay, let's proceed. Like this one, right? Can you give me how to react to among you are guilty of having this stick drawing when you were kids? I believe I I was great at this, right? The strict drawing. So as you can see here, right? I don't know if it's really just a matter of drawing this, right? A body of a person using sticks, right? And this person may be dancing, or maybe she's about to fall because some parts, right, of her bodies, of her body rather, right, aren't proportion. Right. So in your case, again, I already said it earlier, right? The best reference for talking about proportions is our body. So in this case, I don't know if this eggplant shape of body will be proportioned, right, to the body to carry the head, especially the stick legs, right? But of course, ideally, that's how we draw, you know, a very simple drawing of a human body with complete parts, at least with complete parts. Okay. How about this one? Next is emphasis, right? Making a certain part stand out. That's why it's called emphasis, right? You'd like to emphasize something. That's why you highlight the part, you make that bigger, you make that with a different color, right? And the like. So there is a further focus on something that stands out from other objects in the architecture. Who among you have been to National Museum? Can you give me heart react? I don't know if you've been to, was that third floor, I believe, right? There are many modern sculptures there. I believe third floor, right? And it's, it's not the typical sculpture made of wood or made of rocks. Normally, it's made of steel, right? If you have noticed that. So everything there stands out actually because they're given enough space, enough lighting, right? And given enough, caption, right, for spectators to read, right, to examine. And in this case, in addition to using resources such as color, right, form and positioning to illustrate superiority, just like this, right, chessboard, the artist can want to further isolate the dominant part of the design. For example, in a room of illusions, the third, right, the artist Alan King puts the dominant element, like the white sphere, at the center of the scene, right? And in this case, right, example, so let's see this one. Okay, now this is a room of illusions, right, by Alan King. And he puts dominant element here, the white sphere. Is it the white sphere that you first see, teachers? Can you give me a thumbs up or nod? Correct, right? That's how emphasis, right, or that principle of design is being used here. And because it's at the center, it's only one sphere here. So that's the point, right? By putting the second most critical components also next to the main one, that is the sphere, right? The designer also informs you, spectators, where to look next. If I may ask you, where do you look next after looking at the sphere? Anyone? Where does it lead you? Does it lead you to the floor? Does it lead you to the right? Does it lead you to the left or to the back part of this room? Anyone? Yes, teacher Laika.
So, doon po sa likod, ma'am, yung mukha na po siyang floor sa likod instead of parang malaki paint lang po dito pag nakaharap. Para pong nag-extend po sa likod.
It leads you there, right? It leads you to look at the back. What's there? Thank you. Right? How about the others? Yeah, that's correct. Do you have the same? Sa color ng pader po. Okay. Yeah, because it's white and then the tendency of your eyes is to look at other colors. Definitely with color. That's correct. Yeah, this one. It leads you to the floor, right? It looks like it's being mirrored. So we don't know, right? The right reflection of this. We don't know also if this is just a reflection, right? Or really the down part, right, of this one. Or the bottom part of this place. Sa floor po, ma'am, parang may ground floor po. You're seeing this as ground floor. For the others, they see this as being mirrored. Okay, and you don't right, naturally look at the external part of this because this is really structured by straight lines, right? And even 3D lines, right? But this, I don't know if you notice this part. Do you even feel that this room, this open room is floating? It feels like floating. It looks like sunset, right? It looks like a room in the sky, but only again the artist can really explain the inspiration of this. And so perhaps the outline of the target points to the direction that your eye can take. In this painting, the abstract forms in the foreground appear to point to the sphere, just like what the first one said, right? To the back leads you to look at the back. Okay. Next principle is unity. It gives off the appearance of oneness or resolution. It may also refer in an art where all circles are of the same size or same color. Unity or variety uh, principle shows that you want your painting to feel unified, such that all elements fit together comfortably. Because to some spectators, especially if they aren't artists, right? You always look at that. For you, it's perfection, right? That, oh, I believe this is not relevant to this scenario here, right? Or to this scene in this painting or any visual art. So you see that it's not unified because there's one element that doesn't suit, right? The setting of the visual art. But in that case, too much unity also creates monotony, right? Too much variety also creates chaos. So you need to meet halfway, right? You need to have a balanced unity here. You need both. Ideally, you want areas of interest in your composition along with places for your eye to rest, right? Because not all elements in your art should be overwhelming for the spectator. Unity also occurs as all the concepts of design converge into a complete piece of art. It also encompasses line, form, shape, color, texture, and even space. Harmony also can be felt here. Harmony is the manner in which all the elements contribute to each other in order to effectively create a cohesive whole. In this case, right, if you're not going to add all the other houses, stone houses at the back or on one side, right? It will just be a play. It's not cohesive. You may feel like, for instance, this one, right, with this pyramid here and this house. What if this painting only has this part, right? And it doesn't have all the rest of the back, right? You will not even see or feel that this is some sort of, right, a community, right? Or what, a castle, right? In some sort, right? In a good art concept, right, or artwork, the unity of all the elements is greater than that of all the combined components. Because if these are now combined, okay, you will see now, right, the community here, right, can be what, a subdivision. And also unity also is a principle in art that refers to a set of compositional strategies used by an artist to make the parts of a painting or another work of art hang together as a whole through visual relatedness. You can see this one is related to this one because these are already considered pillars, right, of this place. Unity doesn't necessarily apply to an entire work of art. It can also apply to an element or elements of a piece of work that could also contain other forms of expression. But unity, teachers, always expresses a shared commonality within a painting or sculpture or textile because, again, when it's combined, right, you will see the bigger picture as well. You will see the entire context of the artwork, of the visual art to be specific. Okay, for instance, sorry, let's start with this one. The art, what do you think is the artist's purpose here? This is by Peter Bruegel's landscape with the fall of Icarus. The title of this one is The Fall of Icarus. Mhm. Yes, anyone would like to examine this landscape? Do you see elements here expressed by the artist being organized, I mean, showing organized visual objects. Yes, teacher Katrina.
Yun po, parang nagtitell siya ng story kasi
Mhm.
parang isang buong scene, parang ganun
Correct.
po. Event, yung color niya po is may harmony and ayun po. Parang they are organized and parang nagmamatch lang po lahat ng ng
Ng elements, right? But do you think everything here is peaceful? Do you see something chaotic here? Earlier, we're talking about, right? You know, in an artwork, right? Not all elements will really show unity. Anyone who can see that? Yes, teacher Shane.
For me po yung painting po is napapakita ng peaceful kasi makikita simple lang yung background, parang yung pamumuhay lang nung nakaraan yung dinidescribe niya. Simple lang po. Peace.
Yeah, for you, there's peace, right? I would like you to look at all parts here, all sides, or all frames, right, of this painting. Thank you. Right, we feel that maybe here, right? Someone, okay, with the horse. This one looking at somewhere. I don't know what he's waiting for. Yeah, anyone? Teacher Rachel.
Ano po, kaya yung picture po na, yung painting po nagpapakita po siya ng peacefulness. Napansin ko po siya sa water kasi parang kalmado lang naman po yung water dyan. Tas yung tao po, nag-ano lang dyan, parang steady lang. And yung horse, kalmado lang din po, parang naglalakad. Then, yung mga, ano ba tawag dyan, yung sky, kalmado lang din po, wala po siya, parang thunderclouds, yan po. Kaya, yung painting po, nagre-represent po siya ng peacefulness.
Okay, thank you. Okay, good observation. Next, teacher Rocky.
Dun po ma'am sa sinabi niyo po ma'am, dun po sa horse, parang napansin ko po na parang hindi po clear yung direction po kung saan po papunta yung horse kasi po dun po sa line may pa-curve po. Hindi ko po alam kung papunta po siya dun sa right or patiretso po. Kaya parang nakakalito po. Tapos yung feet po ng lalaki, hindi ko po alam kung bababa po siya or
Yeah, that's good observation too. Yeah, that's correct. We don't know if they are avoiding this part. Look at that, right?
Opo.
No elements of the objects here are actually touching this green part. Thank you. That's very good observation. Thank you. Okay. No more. Look closer. Teacher Nika.
Hello po. Sa tingin ko po, nagkaroon sila ng unity kasi sobrang magkaiba po or may contrast po sila sa isa't isa. Doon po sa sea pati sa land. Yung sa sea po parang medyo empty po siya. Even though na meron siyang boats. And then dito naman po medyo ang dark po niya and chaotic ng onte kasi po merong mga land, lupa, and then yung color po niya na brown. Pero yung sa sobrang pagkakaiba po nila ng colors, ng contrast po nila, nagkakaroon po sila ng unity na isang ano lang po siya, isang world po. Or isang lugar lang po sila. Yan pa.
Yeah, that's correct too. Right? It shows really one scene, right? One place, one location, right? And different, life activities of different people in that place. Thank you. Teacher Laika, would you like to share that? You said you saw something.
Ma'am, ayun nga po, amidst the peace po na nangyayari. Kung tingnan niyo po ng malapit, parang may nalulunod po dun sa tabi nung
Correct, right. Yeah, that's true. Thank you for seeing that.
Ayun po, parang at peace po sila lahat, minding their own business, not knowing na meron na po nalulunod dun sa gilid.
Yeah, from the title, right? From the name of this artwork or landscape, The Fall of Icarus. So, thank you for that, Teacher Laika. You got it, right? Amidst all, the elements that take place, and amid the fall of Icarus, right, demonstrate the relative lack of significance of the single occurrence in the painting. There's one more comment here, para lang sa akin, parang naguguluhan po ako sa mountains po. Sa bandang baba po parang maganda yung panahon, tapos sa mountains po parang may snow. Yeah, because you can see mountains are white, so it shows that it's cold there. It's not the brown or the green mountains that we normally see. Thank you. That's great observation too. Okay, some of the ways that a designer or artist achieves unity include the use of similar shapes. I mean, similar shapes here, right? Similar patterns as well. In this case, there is a pattern, right, of the land, harmonizing colors, the use of space as well. As you can see, very big space allotted for the sea or ocean instead of the land, right? The use of a single background too. In the art of Icarus here, all the green tones harmonize to create a feeling of peace. So you're right. Okay, there is peace here that echoes the curved outlines of the sails, right? The sheep and the coastline as well. As you can see, there are so many. There's a herd right here of sheep and the coastline too, right? As you notice, distant, craggy peaks add a touch of risk, but they are, far from the serenity of the foreground. Together, right, these elements convey the artist's idea that the universe should be separated from the tiny drama of a child falling from the sky. So they didn't even notice that. They go along, right? They go on with their life, arousing the mind as we see. Okay, let's look at here. Okay, arousing the mind. That's the name of this one. Unity can be thought of in terms of the Gestalt psychology. Have you heard of this in one of your prof ed courses, the Gestalt theory in curriculum? Maybe not yet. Okay, so Gestalt psychology is a factor that arouses the mind by the redundancy of information. Normally, you see this as illusion. Please focus on looking at one black or white square here. What normally happens to the way you see it. Okay, take your time. I hope you will not feel dizzy while looking at it for so long. Okay, don't get sleepy as well. So I will call. So, Teacher Nika, what happened to your impression, right, of this artwork arousing the mind when you look at it for a while?
Para siyang gumalaw po or parang nag-ano yung vision ko po. May parang hindi na po siya naging proportion po. Parang ganun po.
Yeah. Because it moves, right?
Opo.
So, yeah, the power of illusion as well. Thank you, Teacher Nika. Elements in a painting that would be considered examples of unity might be colors that are close to one another, like this, black and white in terms of hue, or chroma, or recurring shapes as well, or textures that mimic one another. In this case, shapes that mimic one another too, right? The shapes can be clones or approximations, and textures can be identical here or echoes of one another. They you may think of a piece of clothing that unites two types of corduroys as an example. It's also true that, extreme unity makes a composition boring, just like what I believe Teacher Raki said, right? A checkerboard like this is the ultimate, all right, in unity and not particularly interesting visually because, again, it might cause you to feel dizzy, right? And because it creates illusion. While often associated with beauty and harmony, unity can also be sinister, right? When it communicates static or, stultifying social norms. In this case, right, it can hypnotize someone in some sort, right? Grant Wood's American Gothic is definitely also an example of the unity of the sinister kind, right? The repeated, pattern of the pitchfork with, the paint stained glass of the church behind the couple is a non too subtle message communicated by unity of the form. Unity also is a tool in the kit of the artist. It can be folded in a sort of color symmetries, or in this case, these are symmetrical or involving complementary design elements. It can also work to please the mind of the spectator and tie together the disparate forms in a painting, whether abstract or realistic. Another principle is balance, arranging elements without overpowering energy. earlier we are talking about, not good if it's extreme, right? Unity and extreme not having unity. In this case, we keep on saying this earlier, balance, right? Can also be achieved through symmetry, right? It can be achieved also through, asymmetry rather. Since this ability to balance is necessary to manage the gravity-bound universe, humans instinctively seek balance. It is an instinctive way to bring order to life. We need balance, right? We need harmony because just like harmony, balance is an attribute that you naturally search and recognize when you see a concept of a piece or a piece of art, right? The work that lacks harmony makes you feel uncomfortable or it makes you feel dissatisfied. To achieve balance, right? You may equally distribute the visual weight of items in the design. The type of balance in a particular work can be horizontal, right? The left and right of a center line, like a seesaw, right? Vertical, above and below a center line. Radial, it can be radiating from a center point, like a sunburst, right? That creates a strong center focal point because it focuses on one focal point and then you see sunburst. Crystallographic, also all over repetition rather of like objects with no distinct focal point, like a chessboard or a quilt. Right? Balance refers to the visual weight of the elements of the composition. In this case, rack balancing here, we call it rack balancing. But normally, right, you don't see uniformity or structure in rock balancing art. I don't know if you've been to Tanay Rizal or any mountainside, right? That you see, here at PUP actually, I saw one near Mabini. Along catwalk, I saw this rock balancing. Normally, the big one, right, is on top. So there is a variety, but there is balance, right, that you see in the use of stones or rocks and pebbles. It's also a sense that the painting feels stable, right, and it feels right. So if you're going to try doing rock balancing art, right, it feels right because how come, right, a very big rock can be, right, carried by a very small one. Imbalance causes a feeling of discomfort in the viewer, right, because balance can be achieved in three different ways. We have here symmetry, in which both sides of a composition have the same elements in the same position. Right? So to get a better picture of horizontal balance, see a vertical line here. Right? Can you see the vertical line that separates a view of arts by Vincent van Gogh? This is also an art by Gogh. Right? The center line will lead to the trunk of the middle tree here. Right? Do you notice the trunk first before the village? Can you give me a thumbs up? Do you see this? Because if it's a painting, right, you can just simply, right, paint the village, right? But why do you think there is a need to include the trunks here? So that means, right, the painter is behind the trunk, right? It can be felt like that, right? It can be felt like, right, you are picking through a village from afar, and this is now the boundary of that before you go to the next town, right? The center line here will lead to the trunk of the middle tree, additional trunks to the left and to the right. I complement the middle of the tree because it's awkward, I believe, if there is no left and right trunk here, right? That you will only see this one blocking, right, your view of the village, of the entire village. Right? The groups of houses also, while not the same, often have a horizontal balance here. Right? Still same land, right, of location of the houses. So there is balance in the overall painting of Go. Next, here, symmetry, in which both sides of a composition have the same elements in the same position, as in a mirror, right? Mirror image, or the two sides of a face. In this case, two, right, trees. I believe a simple kid can paint like this one. This is already considered the mountain, right? And then the trees here being reflected in on water, rather. Okay, another, this one. This can also be a very exciting activity for your young learners. You may ask them to print their picture, right? And then, cover the half face with a blank sheet of paper and then try, right, to imitate their faces using color pencils, pencil or crayon. So it's really a good, right, activity. How far, right, or to what extent they can achieve the actuality of their face. So this is symmetry here. So left and right sides, there is balance. Okay, this one is spring symmetry activity. You may have this one. It's downloadable, right? Drawn by and then the name of your kid, so they can follow. At least half, right, of this bee can be imitated, right, by following the lines on the other side. Okay, this one, right, a symmetry, right? You can see what happened, right? You might ask what happened to the face. So that's because of asymmetry, right, in which the composition is balanced due to the contrast of any of the elements of art. There is contrast here because of the placing of the eyes here, because it's facing, literally because of the nose, you can see it's facing sideward, right, facing the side, but the eyes look like they're facing, right? For example, a large circle on one side of a composition might be balanced by a small square on the other side. These um, these are examples of fourth graders asymmetrical cubist portraits, right? So this is an example of a cubist portrait. So you may ask them as well to do that again, fourth grader art. Okay, this one. Radial. This is now radial symmetry in which elements are equally spaced around at the central point, as in the spokes coming out of the hub of a bicycle tire. Who among you now really got scammed? But when you were kids, you bought this kind of this art materials or ruler type in to create radial symmetry. Who among you bought this? Normally there will be people who will go to your schools and they will sell this set of uh what symmetrical tools, and normally for radial symmetry that you will only place at the center your pencil, and then, right, you're going to create circles out of that, and it's amazing. You're able to create an artwork. So teacher Laika had that. How about the others? Right, so I believe that's still in the market, right? So you may like to try that. Maybe you only experience doing radial symmetry through protractor, right? That's also possible. Am I right? That's protractor. I might use the wrong word here. Is that protractor? The one with pencil on the other end, and right? What's that? Compass? Compass or protractor? Compass po. Oh, see? I told you, call me out. The protractor is the half ruler. Was that correct? Thank you. Okay, so yeah, it's a compass, right? Normally you use that to create a circle. But I believe the former, right, example, radial symmetry tool that I mentioned, that is easier to create, perfect circles on different sides of the paper. Okay, principles. Another principle of design, we have patterns showing consistency with colors and lines. Patterns here are an innate aspect of art that draws and mesmerizes the spectator. Identifying trends in paintings may also have stimulating psychological influence on the spectator. Pattern identification is also a central feature of the human brain. It helps us to take care of and easily understand our surroundings because we see pattern. Right? I don't know, in my case, every time I will go to the beach or even not at the park, as long as I can see the wide view of the clouds, I will always create in my mind, in my eyes, a pattern of, just recently we went to the beach and I saw a pattern of a poodle in the cloud. And my friend who lost 3 Shih Tzus, she cried when I told her, look at the clouds. It looks like a dog. And she literally, yeah, she literally cried because she remembers her dogs. Are you the kind of person, I don't know, am I the only one who creates too many patterns with clouds? You see face there. Can you give me heart react if you also do the same? That's being mindful of the surroundings, right? Thank you, teacher Laika, Nika, teacher Mariah, and 9 of you. Okay, 9 of you do that. Or maybe some of you, when you're sitting in the toilet, right, you look at the pattern of the water, right, on the bathroom floor. And do you do that, or you create images using the crack of what of the wall or floor? Okay, you're laughing. So again, I'm not the only one who creates images. Normally, images. I create images. I don't know. I'm into that. Any possible springboard for that. Yeah. For that activity, when you'd like to teach patterns to your child, right, or to your young learners in the future, it can go hand in hand with teaching them how to sort. Right, sorting can help them. Both activities rely on seeing the characteristics and attributes a set of items has in common. When kids think about sorting, they think about putting things into piles based on the most visible characteristic they have in common. But if you help your young learner to look a little closer, right, they'll be able to see subtler common attributes too. Right? Some ways to sort items. Your toddlers and preschoolers start sorting early on when they put their various toys in color-oriented piles. They may want to collect, okay, put all the black toys here, all the green ones, and all the pink ones here. Color is just one of many attributes to look at, right? Others include size, shape, texture, length, type of objects, in this case, buttons. Depending on the objects you have to use for patterns and sorting, it can get even more complicated. For instance, if your young learner is sorting buttons, he can sort them by size. It's like this. There are really different sizes of buttons here, right? By color, it depends. It depends. And or by number of holes, right? Some buttons have 2. This one, too many, too many to count. So you may try to ask them to sort. Right? Shoes can also be sorted into left and right. Right? That is a very good routine, right? Every day in your early learning environment, right? That before they enter the room, if it's not allowed to bring in their shoes, they may sort the shoes, right? Into placing it left and right. Laces and no laces, stinky or not stinky, and so on. So I don't think the latter, right, the stinky category will be your choice of sorting, but that I maybe that's one too. Thank you. Okay. As we conclude this, expressive qualities refer to the feelings, moods, and ideas that are disseminated to the viewers, to your viewers, as an artist through a work of art. This aesthetic quality was also deeply favored by emotionalism. As mentioned before, one's understanding in art may vary depending on one's subjective view. That's why when I ask you questions, right, last in class or now, right, as you examine different samples of principles of design arts, right, you see them differently. You feel them differently too, right? People being affected by looking at an artwork is incorporated with their emotions. Also, it showcases our ability, right, in presenting our cognitive development for anyone that can be artists. So I'm already seeing artists in you by seeing all the initial artworks that you submitted for activities 1.1 and 1.2. Children may also seem to be simple-minded as they may create artworks and explode whatever they are feeling, but it also gives off, a deeper connection in their everyday lives, especially when you share backstories of their artwork. You ask them, sharing stories will really engage your learners. Students will want to do art naturally. Just like earlier, someone mentioned, Ma'am, I will appreciate the artwork of my student. Really, after that, right, that kid will, naturally do art with you. Right? Allow your students to doodle, illustrate, and mind map as the class goes on. Include also colors to help make the art a better reflection of student learning. Students can color code also what they learned as well as draw symbols to recall certain things more easily. Okay, so I asked you to doodle it. That's the title of activity 1.1, which is a free-form drawing project that deals with design elements such as color, line, shape, what else? Texture. All right, indeed, very great detailed works of art can be done by merely doodling. In your case, okay, I can't help it. I can't wait for it. But I literally said, wow, ginalingan naman. And, oh, this is super nice. Oh, this is cute. Those are my reactions, my natural reactions. Well, I was browsing your turned in output. So can you give clap, react to yourselves? Be proud of your doodles. They are so great. Really wonderful. I can even imagine myself doing that kind of doodle. And if before my doodle style was, the monster like doodle, just that, right? Or domo, if you know domo, right? Just it looks like domo, or now it looks like, what do you call that? One with imposter. What's the game with the imposter? I forgot.
Among Us po.
Yeah, Among Us game. My doodle usually looks like that, but during that time we don't have Among Us yet, of course. But in your case, it's too much. You already have applied other principles like symmetry, right? Symmetry, normally symmetry and unity and balance can be observed. So, in activity 1.2, you're asked to think and devise an art activity that lets the kids, definitely kindergarten level, achieve the following: explore how a shape can be deconstructed and turned into something new, right? Engage in the creative process, develop fine motor skills while cutting, tearing, using art materials, and more. And again, I salute you, teachers, for achieving and turning in your output. So let's start with the echoing of output. Teacher Juliana, would you like to share this, your inspiration? Permission, okay? I grabbed some samples here from your artwork to showcase here. Are you here, Teacher Yana? Teacher Juliana?
Yes po,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah, what's your inspiration here? It's so cute. It looks like you're going to join a poster making contest.
Ma'am, ma'am? Bilis. Yung inspiration ko po yung colorful po ng buhay ko, tsaka yung sa roads po. Alam kong college na po ako and 2 years na lang is mag-graduate ako, pero hindi pa i-start yung buhay ko sa college. Sa susunod pa po na na panahon kapag nagtrabaho na ako, kasi marami na tayong tatahakin po yung sa roads. Tapos yung doon naman po sa, po yan hindi ko lang po na-emphasize yung moon. Kasi pero po, love ko po yung moon.
But I see here, ice cream.
Yan po, may cream, tapos burger, fries, and drinks.
Cute.
Pizza and carrots. Kasi I love food din po. So yung yung inspiration ko po dyan, yung mga love ko po.
Nice.
Say hi. Say hi. Hi, Ma'am Erli.
Hello. Ay, the cute. Yeah.
Siya po si Maxi. Siya po yung lagi kong example sa activities ko.
Okay. This is cool, right? It's good that you have inspiration, right? All roads lead to a colorful, right, future or life, because you mentioned that you shared here the things that you like. Because normally, I don't know, at least in my case, right, I didn't doodle like this or this way before, right? I just do shapes, just like these. This cute. Always with eyes. Normally, we give life, right, to all the elements of our doodle. But in this case, I like how you incorporated the things that you love, you like, or things you want to do. Thank you.
And ma'am, additional po yung din sa butterfly. Inspiration ko po dyan si Ada, yun din sa last na activity natin. Nung tayo, Sam. Kaya nalagay ko na po yung butterfly.
Nice. Thank you. Where is that? Sorry. Where is it? Help me. Can you annotate? I think I enable annotation. I don't know if the option is not here anymore. Can you help me? Where's the butterfly here?
Yung
The
ma'am, yung
carrot.
tabi po nung ice
This
cream.
one? This is the ice cream.
Yan po.
This one. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you po.
Okay, next. Yeah. Thank you, Teacher Yana. And congrats. This one, Teacher Jervy. This is too much to handle. Where are you, Teacher Jervy? This is really an adult doodle. Where are you? Okay.
Hello po.
Hello? Are you on the road?
Sa labas po na store. Nature po yung nag-give sa akin ng inspiration since it gives us a satisfaction then relaxation po. Then kaya po yung insight ng leaves po yung in-emphasis ko through colors po.
Yeah, thank you. I love how you color all the elements that actually signify nature, right? And how it shows. I believe you continue our activity because you have a leaf here and a bamboo one, right? But the surrounding elements show, for me at least, right, modern style, right? And I love how you only put colors into things that are natural, and the ones that are at least product of modern architecture or modern art, right? You use black and white. Thank you and congratulations. Next, Teacher Eileen.
Hello po, ma'am.
I even added your hashtag here. Do you see this?
Yes, So yun po yung hashtag, yun po yung naging inspiration ko po sa paggawa ng doodle na yun. Kasi po sa pag-scroll ko po sa FB, ang puro nakikita ko po is Let the Earth Breathe. So I think it's a great theme po para gawin yung art, yung doodle art po. And then yung butterfly po, it symbolizes hope kasi I'm hoping po na magiging maayos pa po yung kalagayan po ng Earth. And the fishes, yung makikita niyo po yung fishes, na-inspire lang po kasi nasa tabing dagat po ako ngayon nakatira, kaya ayun po.
Yeah, you know what? When I scrolled down and then I saw this, that's why I added your picture here. So I added your picture and then it said, sana all nasa dagat or nakatira sa dagat. And you know what? Yeah, you have to really embrace that, right, experience, unless you're going to stay there for good, especially when you started teaching in the future. But if not, right, I would like to savor all, right, all the moments that you're there because it really gives you peace, right? And is that only for vacation or you live there?
Simula po nung nag-pandemic, dito po kami pansamantalang nakatira po.
Wow! Sana all. Yeah, we're really not a fan of, or at least I don't want to die in the city. At least I want to die, just looking at the shoreline or looking at the sunset. So yeah, enjoy being there while we are still in the online set of Teacher ID. Thank you. Hashtag let the earth breathe. Okay, allow me to share one learning insight from Teacher Aliyah on YouTube Live. I've learned that art can have different meanings. It is just, a matter of how you interpret it. That's correct. And another, wow, Teacher Laika, look at this. I believe I already commented on this one, telling you literally, right? My initial impression is, ginalingan naman. Literally, that's what I said. I was just being honest. So please share your inspiration here. We can see symmetry here, right? Very cute.
To be honest, ma'am, parang naman po, halo-halo lang din po. Una ko po kasing drawing dyan is yung flowers po sa gitna, which ito pink po. Wala po, kasi po, nilid po ganun. Yun lang po yung nasa utak ko habang ginagawa ko po yan. Tapos, ayun po, naglagay po ako ng color green to represent Kiko naman po. And then, doon na lang din po nag-circulate. Yung mga ina-attendan na po na rallies, ganun po. Yung mga, di ba po minsan may mga rallies po na ang garbo po nung mga entrance po nila mismo. Parang doon nakuha yung idea. Tapos ayun po, dinagdagan ko na lang po ng parang mukhang pamaypay po sa gilid.
Yeah, that really looks like a fan. And it shows like, I don't know how did you color it using all pastel?
Ano po, yung color pencil lang po.
Oh, because
Kasi
the colors are so bright and vivid and smooth that it felt like it's done digitally, but no, right? But what's your reason of not coloring these small circles here?
Para po siguro ma'am, hindi po matabunan masyado yung drawing ko sa gitna since yun po yung gusto kong ma-emphasize. Pero
Correct.
nagre-represent po yan po sa mga tao po.
Correct.
Parang
That's
mga tao.
called, oh yeah, cool. That's called balance, right? Of colors and unity as well because of the symmetry that you followed. Really, really cool. Yeah, thank you for telling me that. And these are heads of people joining the campaign rally. So cool. Very relevant and timely. Thank you, Teacher Like. How about this one? Teacher Shanna Marie, are you here? Is she here, Teacher Shanna? She's not here. But I really appreciate, right, her artwork. Look at this one. Only one, right? 1/4, I believe, of the entire picture of this. It's like you are expecting to see the bigger picture, right? Of this, is this a flower with different petals of different designs? Right? Very colorful. It can also be like a national costume, right? What design? Okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. What happened to Teacher Celine's work here? It didn't load because of my connection. Teacher, would you like to share screen? Where are you? Teacher Celine already joined the room. Would you like to share?
Share screen ko po, ma'am.
Yeah, sure. I will stop sharing. Okay, are you allowed? Wait, let me...
Wait lang po.
Okay, I already made you the co-host so you can share. It's my connection, that's why it didn't load. Yeah, let's see.
Landscape.
We will just do it like, we'll just look at it this way. Okay, that's cute. Are you showing it live? Are you showing it to us live like you are, or is this a picture already taken?
Picture po.
Okay. So cute. Okay, would you like to share that with us? Sorry, was that? I believe that's for activity 1.2.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yeah, teachers. But how about your activity 1.1, the doodle?
Doodle po, ma'am.
Yeah, because that's the one that didn't load here. Because I noticed there are colored papers used, so that's actually for your activity 1.2. Okay, we're still on the group. See, yeah, that's why I chose that. It's so cute. That's so realistic. You don't say pangit, okay? That's really not pangit because, right? That's the reason, again, I chose that. Right? It's because that's one example. I'm not saying it's really, the artwork of your young learners in the future, but to tell you, it's easier to follow, right? If you're going to model doodling, right, to your young learners, I love how different emotions are already incorporated. You know what? Don't say it's pangit because you can even use it as a springboard or as a sample in the future. Okay, can we give heart react to Teacher Celine? You never ever say that again to your artwork because you exerted effort to that. You also thought of a concept. Am I right, Teacher Celine? I don't want to assume here, but that's how I would like you to feel, right, towards your artwork. Yeah, please unmute. Right? You see different emotions here. So instead of, if your young learners cannot do yet the faces earlier that I've showed you, why not do these, right? Literally or at least ideally they can, or realistically, sorry, they can draw shapes, right? And why not bring life into shapes by, right, by assigning emotions to different shapes, like straight face for blue, or for circle, even colors, right? Can even start identifying. But I suggest for the colors, if that will be part of the subject matter, use the primary colors first, okay? Because these are young learners. But you are also realistic. Is this a banana shape with what, a shocked or spooky emotion? Thank you. All right, let's give a clap react to teacher Celine. Thank you so much. Okay, allow me to continue screen sharing. Okay, let's proceed to your 1.2. So this is teacher Rocky's work. Oh my goodness, it didn't load again. I think I need to reload. Wait for a while. It needs to reload. Okay, let me check. Okay, yeah, it loads now. Okay, let me share screen now. Okay, so this is teacher Rocky's work. Teacher Rocky, would you like to share? Then your task here is to think first and devise an art activity that lets the kids, right, achieve exploring how a shape can be deconstructed and turned into something new. You can do that. Right? For example, your mere colored or square or rectangle colored paper can turn into something new. Do you remember our baby bird story? The activity that we did last semester? Can you give me heart react if you remember the baby bird story? Okay, thank you. It's good that I actually checked our media files first from our GC, because I'm might have asked you to do the same thing. But that's one example, right? One good example activity for 1.2. But for Sir Rocky, are you here? Are you still here? You'd like to
Yes,
share your
ma'am.
inspiration? Yeah, so your title is Ocean Shapes Paper Craft, right? What's your inspiration?
Basically po, wala pong inspiration, ma'am. Parang binase ko po kasi sa available colors po ng ano ko po, ng kasi assorted po yung binili ko sa palengke po. And nag-iisip po ako kung ano po yung pwedeng magawa. And yun po, yung ginawa ko po, yung ocean nga po, kasi parang combination po siya ng organic shapes po, yung mga parang parang yung anemone po sa ocean, and yung mga shapes naman po yung pwede pong mabuo po na tulad po sa whale, parang rectangle po siya or square po siya. Tapos yung buntot niya po parang nag-cut out lang po ako ng small na triangles, and then pinag-combine ko lang po sila para makabuo po ng animals po.
Yeah, I love how you shape them literally because, right, you didn't really make it too complicated for the kids because, again, your target learners, right, are kids. So you didn't make it too ideal for them to achieve, just like this square, or maybe it's already rectangle shape. Your eyes here, the eyes of the fish, right, look like you use googly eyes, but no, right? This is only white and
Wala po kasi,
black bulked in. But it
wala
looks
pong
like it's
available.
a
Wala pong available sa palengke po. Dapat yun po talaga
ah
yung gamitin.
okay. But yeah, don't
Nag-improvise
worry.
na
That's
lang po.
also being, yeah, that's good. Right? Teachers need to really be resourceful. So you can even model that to the learners. You may even ask them first, right? Like, how do you think we can, right, create the eyes of the fish? So you have clear instructions here, step by step. So congratulations, Teacher Rocky. And let's give clap react to Teacher Rocky. Another one. This one is not more of the drawing, but more on paper cutting and, right, using glue. So this is the work of Teacher Will. Teacher Will?
Hello, ma'am. Rinig po ba?
We can hear you. Yeah, would you like to share your inspiration here?
Um,
Why did you choose a drawing and you choose this, cutting papers and creating really a flower here with stem
Bale, ma'am,
and
nag-focus
leaf?
po ako dun sa instruction na ano po yun, na ma-achieve ng bata. Ano to, yung shape po, ma-deconstruct siya and makabuo ng bagong image or shape po. Tapos
Yes,
mabase po
correct.
sa title ko, Shape to Bloom. Kasi po yung unang shape po na ginamit natin ay rectangle. Tapos parang since yung title is Shape to Bloom, i-shape po muna natin yung rectangle sa another shape para po siya mag-form as a flower. And yun po yung term na bloom para maging flower siya. Kaya po siya naging ganito.
Okay. Do you think, yeah, I love that. You even have the actual artwork. And do you think it is somehow challenging for the kids to do this?
Actually, ma'am, pinatry ko po siya sa preschooler ko pong pamangkin. Kasi po bago po siya ginawa, tinry ko po kung kaya po ba nila gawin yung pag-ikot ng
Correct,
rectangle.
yeah. And
Tapos
you're really putting them together, right?
Apo, pinatry ko po dun sa pamangkin ko. Nakita ko po, ay, pwede naman po nilang, ay, kaya po nilang gawin. Kaya
Okay.
nag-proceed
Alone? They can do it alone?
Yes po.
Wow, okay. So at least it's already kindergarten approved. So it's already approved, right, by a preschooler. So you can really do this. Thank you so much for that. At least I will not be anymore wondering about, right, the level of difficulty. So, or maybe of course we can't assume that all the kids, right, are like the kid right or at Will's house. So maybe you may help still the kids, right, do it all together, then simply model, but do it at the same time with the young learners. Okay, another one from Teacher Luzel. Are you here? Teacher Luzel. Is Teacher Luzel here? No, okay. Really? Okay, as you can see, I also appreciated, right, her buying the clay, the different colors of clay materials or artwork materials. And this is, again, I believe we are going to, right, based on the model or the sample activities or outputs that I've showcased here, it has something to do also with their level of difficulty. Can you give me a thumbs up if you agree? Okay, right. It's like from Teacher Rocky's artwork. Yes, that's achievable. And then second, at least with a little help, right? I think it needs a little help from a more knowledgeable author or at least a teacher aide or the teacher herself. And this one, it needs a lot of effort at least, right? Because you need to cut out shapes first, actually to draw first, right? A sample design that you want to achieve. And then of course, there is a need for you to invest in some materials like clay, right? Materials, and then, and then place all of these to your pattern, here. And this is the output. In this case, it also achieves texture and shapes, right? And other elements of art. Okay, this is supposed to be your third. However, I already removed this from the list of your expected activities because I don't want to burden you, right? But just in case you like to do it at your own pace, you may. It's still there in the IM. This is called Visual Arts Vocabulary, right? Where you need to choose one vocabulary, art vocab or art word or word related to art. And then you have to reflect that. You have to showcase that, right? That vocabulary word into the meaning that it conveys. So for instance, this artwork showcases shapes, and you can see shapes all over, right? This one, mosaic, and the artwork is really made out of mosaic. And this one, remarkable. So literally marking, right? Remarkable. So it's an amazing activity, but I believe the first two right, really would help you, think more creatively and innovatively when you teach young learners in the future. On additional, right, entries to the visual arts vocabulary silhouette, right? There's even definition here and really sample of silhouette in the painting. Next perspective, this is so cool, right? I was really amazed in this one, right? It's really about perspective, and the word itself showcases different perspectives. Okay, this one is contrast. So it shows contrast of different colors, and it is a view from up, from my top location, looking at the shore and the building. It's like an overlooking, right, art. Okay, so it's already 7:44. I don't want to, right, eat more of your time. So we'll just reserve this for next meeting. Don't worry, the slides are already posted, right? Or it will be posted after 8. So at least you can rest for a while and continue praying for our clean and honest elections teachers. Everyone, please turn on your cameras. I don't know what happened. You became so quiet. I continue to share about the other activity, and you know the silence is deafening for me. So I need to, even the noise. I didn't hear any noise from your audio, so it kind of bothers me. Right? If you're still there, but you're still there. Thank you. Is it my connection or you're really glitching? Okay, let's have our post screenshot, teachers. There's a comment here. Teacher Laika, are you also on YouTube Live? Oh, Teacher Laika's video is
Wala
not
po.
moving. Okay. So allow me to reiterate the attendance. And there's even a comment. Ma'am Bell Pepper is Rhea Manalang po. Pasensya na po at retrieve ang account. Okay. So allow me to check again. Or maybe I can take a screenshot for you so you know. Okay. Teacher Shena shared here. Inspired po siya sa Pahiyas Festival, ma'am. Since malapit na po siya. Yeah, that's also what I was thinking while I was looking at that. I was just reminded of a restaurant in Cubao inspired by Pahiyas Festival. I forgot the name. Okay, let me take a screenshot of the Zoom. Okay, how about a screenshot for us? Okay, smile, teachers. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, vote wisely. Another one. Sorry. Another one. Okay. Yeah. Again, fellow Kakampinks, you know what to do. Vote wisely, okay? And let's continue praying for our nation. May God's will be done, right? For our country, the Philippines, our beloved Philippines. God bless you all. And thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate your virtual presence. Hopefully, right, be more active next time, especially those who weren't able to garner their recitation 6 and 9. So you are now allowed, right, to take note of or to input your recitation 6 once the editable Google Sheet is ready. Is that clear? Give me finger heart, teachers. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Yeah, see you when I see you. Okay, just wait for the Zoom. So next meeting, am I right? Next meeting, next week is async. Will that be okay?
President na si VP Lenny Chart.
Again, Teacher Hannah, what did you say?
Next meeting natin, President na si VP Lenny.
Yes, amen. Thank you for that declaration. Decreeing is really powerful. That's correct. Thank you. The next meeting, VP Lenny is our president. What else? No, because this is the start. The one that we're supposed to discuss here will be another lesson. And async If it's async next week, maybe Friday we can meet. Is that okay? Because I don't want you to do the activities posted there for tonight's supposedly topic or discussion, right? You don't want to do things, of course, before you were, before you were oriented about it. So will that be okay? Friday? Because you will not do anything on Tuesday. You will not do anything also with the async Tuesday. Of course, that will be async. Is that okay? Can you give me heart react Tuesday? Right? We'll pray for the next president and all the other officials. And Friday we'll meet. So you don't need to start doing the activities posted, right, in the G class work because that will be discussed first. Is that clear? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay. So no one will turn in yet. Okay, don't be so excited, right? Enjoy the moment. Enjoy. Are you first time voters? No. How old are you? First time? Teacher Will, first time. Oh, yeah. With your thumbs up. Wow, that's why. Okay. So, indeed, okay, we pray for the power also of the first time voters. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of the week and the weekends. Goodbye.